Hello everyone, thank you for joining me. My name is Nick, we're on the ZX Spectrum and we're looking at Laser Snaker, published by Poppysoft in 1983. Now it's essentially a snake variant. There's different degrees of speed going through 0 to 4. There's a trainee if you want it, but we won't do that, we'll go straight in. And we'll put it on joystick, because I did try it on keyboard and it was a little bit unresponsive, so hopefully it'll be better on joystick, because an unresponsive control system in a snake game often spells doom. So yes, we'll control a snake, but there's a difference with this as well. You can actually shoot, there we go, but when he does shoot, or she shoot, the creature goes quicker for a period of time. So we have to collect all these dots if you're unaware of a snake, and as soon as you do so, your tail will get slightly longer. If we bump into any of the scenery or those squares, we're doomed, but we can destroy those by firing. So you get the general idea, don't you? Poppysoft, they did a lot of quite basic games. This one is sort of okay at the moment. It's nice and colourful, but sometimes the controls are a little bit behind what you're doing. Most of the time it's okay, but occasionally you get caught out, some sort of coding thing or something. But we'll see how far we can get. You see your lives down the, well, up the top right there. And also, I think we've got a rank, Snake Cadet, in the bottom left. So we just lost a life there, which is not very good. There we go, and that nice tune every time you complete a stage, and that is it really. To my knowledge, the border always stays that magenta colour, or purple for non-spectrum people, but we call it magenta in the spectrum world. Magenta! Hooray! There is no purple, there is no lilac, there is just magenta. See, look, I tried to turn then and it didn't work, so we're already going through the lives like a stupid person. Make your own jokes there. So it might be a good idea to shoot stuff. Now you can shoot the pills as well, but you get points for collecting those, so you're a bit of a wally if you do. But sometimes you have to with quick reflexes. It moves very fast. We will try different speeds on this. This is speed 0. Be interested to see how quick speed 4 goes. Yes. Now, I think I'm slowly getting the hang of this. If you had an old Nokia phone, you may have had the Snake game on that at some point. That's the beginning of phone games. And there's lots of Snake sort of like games about. I've reviewed on the Amiga Snake Pit. That's quite interesting. There's no sound on this one apart from when you complete the level. Unlike Snake Pit on the Amiga, where there's sort of like some like jungle drums in the background. Lovely basic game. So I would say these type of games are the you don't have to use too much intelligence on it, and it's like relaxing and defragging the brain. It's okay. I think it's got quite bad reviews, probably because of the control system, which, as I say, is sometimes a little bit behind where you are, but you can adjust yourself to it, and I think it works okay. It's not the best game in the world, but I think what it sets out to do, it does alright. And it's good that the things you have to collect are different colours, so that gives you a bit of the spectrum feel about the thing. And I quite like it, but it's not one I would be playing over and over again. This might be the first time you've seen it. You might have played other Snake variants back in the day, but this is 1983. 1983, I put too many numbers in there, but 1983, so you've got to judge it about what was around at the time. And as a kid, I think I would have liked this, and it's more than acceptable. Would have been quite quick to load, I think, so there's not too much going on. You don't have to read the instructions, you're just there straight away. Try and avoid shooting stuff if you can. Just use that if you get really desperate, because as I say, the thing goes super quick when that happens. So we're on stage where it says sheet at the bottom right there, so we're on sheet 8. Don't know how many sheets there are in this. Why is it called sheets rather than levels of stage? I don't know. Maybe they wanted to do their own thing. So not too many obstacles here, but it will gradually increase in complexity until you'll be ripping your hair out, no doubt. Right, we'll go up here, up, across. See, look, missed, down. Right, there we go. Yeah, as I say, don't do it on keyboard. Put it on joystick. That's my tip to you. Joystick, I really struggled with the thing. Not joystick, keyboard, I really struggled with the thing. Wake up, Nick, wake up. Perhaps the brain's defragging too much with this thing. Right, here we go. Oh, see, I'll blame the controls, and that's the end of that. So, NICK is the name. We will put it on speed 4 now, see if that makes any notable difference. But we got up to level 9. That's not bad, is it? It's not bad for a beginner. There's all your top scores, and I beat all of those people. Demonstration, well, you don't really need a demo. Difficulty 4. Oh, it's not speed, it's difficulty. Right, okay. So there might be more obstacles, I suppose. Yeah, so difficulty 4, I think it's starting off the same speed, or is it slightly quicker? Yeah, they're going to put more objects in the way, I think. There's no aliens that come out and shoot you, or any other snakes that go around competing against you. A 2-player mode would have been fantastic, but this is 1983, so we can let it off. Right, let's see if we can get past Sheep 9 this time. Not sure if you get any extra lives when you get a certain score. These reviews, as we know, is all about if you owned it back as in the day as a kid, if you bought it or you bought it yourself, would you have played it more than once or twice, or would you have got so frustrated you would have taken it back to the shop or never played it again? And I think with this one, I would have gone back. I would have gone back to it. It's that basic gameplay, and I think the simple games on the ZX Spectrum always work the best. Right, now, how far can we get? We need to get past Sheep 9, really. That's the target on difficulty 4. Which is presumably more difficult than difficulty 0, but I'm not noticing a notable difference. There's 3 squares in the way there. There's another 3 squares, so it's not huge. So I don't know how many levels it's got, but I reckon hundreds, because the difficulty is going up so slow. Because presumably you just shoot those squares out the way, and then that's that done. Rightio. It's a bit like a colour and in book to de-stress, I think, these sort of games. Poppysoft. We have reviewed a few Poppysoft games in the past. They all tend to be a bit basic in this sort of era like this. Right, now. And just 3 squares again. No level editor on this, but you wouldn't expect it from a game from 1983. But, you know, so easily could do one nowadays. Always on one screen. There's no walk gates from one side of the screen to another. So it's 8-bit and it's as basic as you can possibly get. Well, maybe that's a bit cruel. There's quite a bit of colour here, isn't there? Basic would have been monochrome. A black background works well. I don't think they could have chosen any other colour. It might have been a bit confusing to the eye. So you can stare at this for a while. Difficulty is going up. Well, if this is difficulty 4, could have made it a lot more difficult. So that's one gripe then as well. The difficulty setting doesn't make a huge difference. We're going to have 3 squares. Yeah, see, 3 squares each time. So, you know, it's going to take ages for this to get difficult. I might have to artificially end my lives here, because I don't want a review like this going on for like hours and hours, because there's only a limit. There's only a limit how long you can watch a Snake game, because you've probably played a version of Snake before, whether it's this one or a different one on your phone, and you know it straight away. But this is one of the rare ones where you can actually shoot stuff, but you don't really need to. Oops, I wanted to go round there. Right, me saying it was easy, then I died. Bonus points 50. Yeah, it's just going to stay those 3 squares to avoid each time, isn't it? It's randomising it up each time. I don't think anything too much is going to happen in terms of variance. So after a while then, after your few goes, it's always going to be exactly the same. But isn't that like Sudoku and all those sort of games, maybe? Yeah, it's going to be the same in a random different position, is it not? There we go. So we pretty much know what we're going to expect from level to level. I haven't been counting the amount of these power pills we need to collect. If you have they been staying the same? See what I mean? When you fire, it goes temporarily quicker. Right. I'm not sure if it had a sequel, but you know, I reckon there's quite a few other clones on the spectrum of this Snake game. I think this might be the first one I've reviewed. We have reviewed over 450 games now, so my memory might be fading. We might have done one. I can't quickly recall it. Right. Animation is as you'd expect. It's flickering ever so slightly as it moves along, but you know, I let it go for that. It's not detrimental to the game at all. So we're on sheet 10. So we've done better than the last go, and this is presumably on a more difficult level. Yeah, you could go on forever like this. It's not getting notably more difficult, is it? I don't think so. Do you own a snake? Let me know. I used to know a friend that owned reptiles, and I thought it was quite interesting until I realised you have to feed them live food like mice and stuff, and I think, oh dear. I think he actually fed them frozen mice also, and that just sounds too gruesome to me, but that's what reptiles eat, and if you're looking after a pet, you must respect them the most. I think he then bought a big owl. Yeah, he did like his interesting pets. An owl. Can you imagine owning an owl? That sounds crazy. You need all. I suppose you need a special house for the owl, and it'd be watching you all night. But I'm getting distracted now. We're trying to review Laser Snaker. It's a snake with a laser on it. Thank goodness snakes don't actually have lasers on, because that would make it a different kettle of fish. Imagine if you're in the outback or somewhere and a snake turns up, you outrun it and it gets you with a laser. We don't want any of that sort of stuff, but with genetic engineering, some fool somewhere is probably going to give it a go. Well done, you crazy scientist. Crazy scientists have never had it so good. Right, off we go again. Still 3 squares. They should have done an extra square per level, I think. They could have ordered it. It just ramps up too slow. Ramps up too slow. I mean, a kid would be on here for hours trying to see if the extra square's going to turn up, but I don't think it's ever going to do it. Maybe after every 100 sheets, perhaps. Well, you do get value, I suppose. To complete it, I think is probably impossible, and I wouldn't be surprised if it randomises stuff forever and ever and ever. As you can see, we are still a snake cadet, so the game does want you to put in the hours, and I don't think I would have put in the hours. I mean, if you're playing this for half an hour and you get nowhere, then that's that. But it's a good game in itself. Rather clunky controls. So let's sum it up then. Good graphics, good animation, nice idea. Rather clunky controls. Difficulty doesn't ramp up quickly enough. That's a bit better, but at the end of the day, okay. There we go. I think that's pretty fair to say, isn't it? Isn't it fair? Whoops, right, here we go. But as I say, do it on joystick. Keyboard, you might start swearing to yourself. Right, there. Boom. Down, and there we go. Oh no, right. There we go, got it. So we won't be going up to sheet 8,000,000,002 here. This is our last life. You can shoot stuff out the way, as I've already told you. I'm getting a bit addicted to this, but maybe I should just end the review in a moment. Maybe I'll get let down by clunky controls. We can but hope. There we go. Green, red, white. You do get into a rhythm after a while. If I went back onto level 0, I think I'll be going on forever. Hopefully it doesn't give me an extra life. Don't give me an extra life. We don't want that to happen. Bibby-dibby-dibby-dibby-dib. The music, although it's repetitive after each stage, it's not the sort of thing that's, oh, it's game over, great. It's not the sort of thing that's going to stick in your mind. So I hope you liked having a look at that one. A fairly basic game, as I say. I would say it's okay rather than being anything super special. So that was Laser Snaker on the ZX Spectrum, published by Poppysoft in 1983. Got any comments or memories about that game or similar games or anything retro, then please put that below. You're always more than welcome. A massive thank you to everyone that's subscribed to the channel so far, helping it grow. It does help me. If you want to help the channel a bit more, there's patreon.com/njenkin. Every bit really does help. If you want to check out that site, then be my guest. Until next time, take great care of yourself and a very fond goodbye.
Goodbye.